A single mistake, one wrong turn, and suddenly the ocean stops feeling like freedom and starts feeling like a trap. Kaya hasn't felt normal since her mother died. The house she lives in with her younger brother and father feels heavy, silent, like grief has settled into the walls themselves. Conversations have become rare, smiles even rarer. Her father spends most of his days alone, trying to repair the same boat where the accident happened, the place that constantly reminds him of what he lost. And Kaya quietly carries the responsibility of holding the broken family together. She stopped going out, stopped meeting friends. Almost like she's punishing herself by staying trapped inside the sadness. But today, things change. Her friend Clara calls, insisting she come out for a walk near the sea. Kaya hesitates. Leaving home feels wrong, almost selfish. Yet Clara knows she needs air, space, something to break the silence. Meanwhile, Kaya's father sits alone beside the damaged boat, drowning in memories. Every tool he picks up feels heavier than the last, as if the past refuses to let him move forward. Eventually, Kaya gives in and drives to meet Clara. At first, it seems simple, just a small outing. But Clara reveals that two more friends will join them. One of them is someone Kaya doesn't know. Instantly, she feels uncomfortable. Crowds aren't her thing anymore. Still, Clara reassures her. The new guy is kind, calm, someone she thinks Kaya might actually like. When they meet, Kaya notices something unexpected. The two brothers who join them are vloggers, always filming, always chasing excitement. And that's when they suggest something risky. Instead of staying near the shore, they want to ride jet boards out to a nearby island. Kaya immediately refuses. She needs to return home before evening. Responsibilities are waiting, but the group convinces her. The island isn't far, they promise. They've gone there recently. They swear they'll be back before sunset. Clara gives her a look that says more than words ever could. A reminder that she deserves a moment of happiness too. Reluctantly, Kaya agrees. At first, everything feels perfect. The sea is calm. The air feels alive. For the first time since her mother's death, Kaya laughs. She talks with Clara's friend, feeling a quiet connection. Someone who listens without judgment. Someone who makes her forget, even if only for a moment, how heavy her world has been. But happiness in stories like this never lasts long. As they ride the jet boards across the water, one of the brothers starts speeding up, trying to impress Kaya with reckless stunts. The engine roars louder. The waves grow sharper, and suddenly, control is lost. The jetboard flips. Clara and her friend crash violently into the sea. Before anyone can react, another jetboard slams directly into one of them at high speed. The impact is brutal. He goes unconscious instantly. Panic explodes across the water. Another crash follows. Another fall. Chaos replaces laughter within seconds. Kaya pulls Clara toward safety, fighting to keep her calm while waves crash around them. The surviving brother searches desperately for his sibling, screaming, diving underwater again and again. But there is no response, no movement, only silence beneath the surface. And slowly, the terrible realization begins to sink in. He's gone. One reckless moment, one careless decision, and a life has disappeared into the ocean. Guilt hits like a storm. The brother blames himself, replaying the moment over and over, wishing he had just slowed down, just looked ahead. But regret changes nothing. Their situation becomes even worse. Both jetboards are damaged. Fuel leaks into the water, drifting away with the current. There's no way to restart them. Now they are stranded, in open sea, injured, exhausted, and completely alone. The horizon stretches endlessly in every direction, offering no comfort, no rescue. Time passes slowly, and fear grows heavier with every minute. Then Kaya notices something moving beneath the surface. At first, just a shadow. Then another. Her heart drops. A shark, circling. Getting closer. The ocean transforms into a prison. Every splash feels dangerous. Every movement feels like an invitation to attack. Kaya tries to keep everyone calm, guiding them toward the floating jetboard pieces, anything that can keep them above water. And just when hope begins to fade, something appears in the distance. A boat. Small, but real. A man stands at the helm. Captain Ray. He sees them struggling. He turns the engine toward them immediately, speeding across the waves as their desperate cries finally reach someone willing to help. But what they don't realize yet is that rescue doesn't always mean safety. And sometimes the real danger hasn't even begun. Something was wrong the moment Ray smiled, because sometimes the person who saves you is the one you should fear the most. After surviving the chaos at sea, Kaya, Clara, and their injured friend believed they were finally safe when Ray pulled them aboard his ship. He spoke calmly, moved carefully, even helped them sit down, reassuring them that the danger was over. But safety was only an illusion. Clara's friend was bleeding badly, barely conscious. Ray appeared concerned, treating the wounds while quietly observing Kaya, again and again, in a way that felt unsettling. Clara eventually went inside the washroom where Ray was working, but when she didn't return, Kaya decided to check on her. Inside, Ray was preparing something with cotton and chemicals. Kaya assumed he was making disinfectant for the injured boy. She stood there silently, watching, unsure why a strange feeling kept telling her something was wrong. And then suddenly, Ray pressed the chemical against Kaya's face. Everything went dark. In that moment, the truth became clear. Ray was never their savior. He was their captor. When Kaya regained consciousness, panic flooded her mind. She found herself trapped inside a metal container deep within the ship, locked from above with no visible escape. Soon, Clara woke up too. The small space felt like a prison. Blood stains covered the mattress. Strands of hair lay scattered around, silent evidence that other girls had been held here before and likely never escaped. A crude stick with the word "help" scratched into it confirmed their worst fear. They weren't the first victims, and maybe they wouldn't be the last. Regret hit them hard. Why had they ever come to this island? But now wasn't the time to think about mistakes. Survival depended on what they did next. The following morning, Ray opened the hatch and tossed down raw fish as food, treating them like animals. Kaya begged desperately, telling him she had a younger brother waiting for her at home. But Ray's response was cold and terrifying. He warned them that any attempt to escape would end with their bodies chopped into pieces and fed to the sea. Then he left, casually returning to his routine of smoking, listening to music, and acting like nothing was wrong. But one detail revealed something even darker. Ray wasn't alone. He frequently spoke into a walkie-talkie, as if waiting for someone. Days passed. Clara's injured friend lay helpless upstairs, ignored, untreated, slowly fading away. Then finally, a ship approached. Hope exploded inside the girls. Maybe rescue had arrived. Maybe this nightmare was ending. But hope can be cruel. The man who arrived wasn't a rescuer. He was a doctor, and not the kind that saves lives. After briefly examining Clara's friend, the doctor calmly stated that the condition didn't matter, because he would still be useful. Those words sent chills through the air. Down below, he pretended to examine Clara like a patient, then went back upstairs with Ray. Moments later, the screams began. Horrifying, endless screams. The girls realized the truth when they heard them. The doctor was removing organs while the victim was still alive. Kidneys, eyes, heart, everything. It wasn't medicine, it was business. After the torture ended, the body was thrown into the ocean like trash. The message was clear. No one here was coming to save them. Ray and the doctor were partners, rescuing survivors from the sea only to sell their organs to wealthy clients. Soon, the girls overheard their next plan. Clara would be killed. Kaya would be sold alive. Fear turned into urgency. When Ray and the doctor came back down, they dragged Clara away despite Kaya's desperate resistance. Ray knocked Kaya unconscious again, leaving her behind as they prepared for surgery. Hours later, Kaya woke to faint screams echoing through the ship. Clara was still alive, which meant there was still time. Desperation gave Kaya strength. She noticed a ventilation fan that had stopped running. If she could break it, she pushed with everything she had. Again and again. Finally, it snapped open. Kaya crawled through the opening and emerged into the ship, moving carefully through the shadows. Above, she saw the doctor preparing instruments while Ray moved around nearby. She knew she couldn't fight them empty-handed, so she slipped down into the engine room. There, she found a fishing spear, sharp, deadly, and heavy. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. This was no longer about escape. This was about survival. Slowly, silently, Kaya returned, raising the spear toward the doctor. And for the first time since this nightmare began, the hunter was about to become the prey. The doctor freezes the moment he sees her, not because she's dangerous, but because she's fearless. Until now, no girl had ever made it this far alive, and that's when he smiles, a slow, manipulative smile. He begins talking softly, trying to control her with words instead of weapons, buying time, studying her fear, searching for weakness. But Kaya isn't listening anymore. She's done being afraid, and suddenly, she releases the arrow. The sharp sound cuts through the silence. It hits the doctor. He staggers back, shocked, but he doesn't fall. Instead, he grins through the pain and attacks. The fight becomes brutal, desperate, chaotic, and in that moment of struggle, something important happens, something the doctor never notices. Kaya quietly loosens Clara's ropes, a small move, a deadly mistake for him. Clara frees herself, her eyes filled with rage. Before the doctor realizes what's happening, she strikes, again, and again, and again. Each stab fueled by survival, by fear, by everything they endured. Until finally, the monster stops moving. Silence, heavy breathing, and the realization that it's finally over. But survival isn't finished yet, because escaping this nightmare will be harder than ending it. They search for a way out. Ray still has no idea what has happened here, which means he could arrive any moment. Kaya remembers something important. The doctor came by ship. That's their only chance. Without wasting another second, they jump into the freezing water, swimming toward freedom. Meanwhile, Ray arrives. The scene is chaos, destroyed equipment, signs of struggle, and then he sees it. The doctor's body, dead. His expression changes instantly. Something is very wrong. He rushes upward, searching. The small boat is still there, which means they must still be nearby. He turns on the searchlight, scanning the dark water, and then he sees them. Two figures swimming toward the ship. Panic hits him. He tries starting his boat. Nothing. Again, still nothing. He runs to the engine room, only to discover the wires have been cut. Kaya planned this. She knew he would come. Now time is against him. Out in the ocean, Clara struggles to keep moving. Her injuries are too severe. Every movement drains her strength. Kaya refuses to give up, pulling her forward, encouraging her, fighting against exhaustion. But reality hits hard. Clara can't make it, and sometimes survival demands impossible decisions. Kaya makes one. She leaves Clara temporarily and swims alone toward the ship, promising silently she will come back with help. When she reaches the vessel, hope rises and immediately collapses. No keys, no way to start it. Panic begins to creep in. Then she finds a radio. Her hands shake as she contacts the Coast Guard, explaining everything. Trapped, injured, desperate. They tell her she needs a tracking device, a picker. Without it, rescue will be nearly impossible. She searches everywhere. Nothing, only a flare gun. Time feels like it's slipping away. Then finally, she finds it, the device that could save her life. But as she steps onto the deck, she feels it, that instinct. Someone else is here. Movement in the water, she hides, and slowly, Ray appears. Her worst fear has become reality. She moves carefully through the ship, searching for a safer position, passing through the doctor's bedroom. Family photos stare back at her. 2 daughters, a normal life, and yet he destroyed countless others without hesitation. The thought shakes her. Before she can react, Ray grabs her. Pain explodes through her body as he stabs her. She collapses, bleeding, weak but not defeated. She pretends to surrender, pulling him closer as if seeking comfort. He leans in, trusting the illusion. And then, she fires the flare directly into his face. Light erupts. He screams, blinded, collapsing to the ground. Kaya crawls away, barely conscious, dragging herself toward survival. Every movement feels heavier, every breath more painful. She reaches the edge, trying to throw the picker into the water, but her strength fails. The device slips from her hands. Darkness takes her. Hours pass. The ocean never stops moving. And sometimes, survival happens even when you can't fight anymore. The waves shake the ship through the night. Slowly, silently, the picker slides across the deck and falls into the water. Activated. Her location is sent. Morning arrives. A Coast Guard boat cuts through the ocean. They find Kaya, barely alive, Ray's body nearby. And just as they prepare to leave, they see another figure floating in the sea. Clara, still alive. Both survivors are pulled aboard, safe at last. But survival comes with scars. Tears fall, not just from pain, but from the weight of everything they endured. Kaya still carries the grief of her mother's death, and now the trauma of what she survived. Back on shore, they look at each other, a silent understanding. They lived. And sometimes, that's the greatest victory of all. The nightmare ends, but the memory never will.